Welcome, everyone, to our Big Ten National Webinar Action Wellness Collaborative. I am so excited to introduce Dr. Liaison Walmsley. Lee is assistant professor at the University of Kentucky and chair of work, life, and student wellness. And I just want to start by saying I'm so excited about Lee's talk because at Ohio State, we have a whole initiative going on taking and giving a dose of vitamin G for gratitude. And I can't wait to hear Lee's talk on the science of gratitude. So take it away, Lee.
Thank you, Bern. And I would like to thank this group for giving us time and space to take care of ourselves. This has been a gift for all of us. So, Bern, I want to thank you for leading this alliance. We've all come from wherever we've been this morning, and likely we are all going somewhere else. And so the first thing that I would like for you to do is come together at this time and at this place. And so we're just going to take a few moments. As nurses, we all know that breathing is not just essential to life, but it is the regulator of our thoughts and our emotions if we use it. So to start off with, I'm going to let us come together and join together with some breaths. You know that as nurses, you need to fill up and you need to fill up fully. And so I always ask you, the first thing is to sit up and maybe pull your shoulders back and expand your chest so that you allow for more air. And then get comfortable in whatever environment you're in. Notice your feet on the floor and take a little time to notice the sensations of sitting in your chair. And then we're going to take about 5 to 6 cycles of breath together. And everybody has their own pace that they do that in and their own time that they do that in. I'll lead it, but you can use however pacing you would like. And I'll start us out with a tone. And you can either soften your gaze. If you want to, you could gently let your eyelids relax. So when you hear the tone, we will begin. And I would invite you to inhale to the count of 6. And then exhale to the count of 8. And inhale to the count of 6. And then exhale to the count of 8. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. And as we take our last final breaths together, I would invite you to come to this time in this space with these people. And then I would ask for somebody to confirm that they can see my screen, which is the science of gratitude.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, from my side. So when you think about gratitude, we are trying to help people understand that there's evidence behind the practices of self-care that we are promoting as nurses, both for ourselves and for others. So if you would type into the chat, what do you think it means that neurons that fire together wire together? Because when we're teaching the science of gratitude, we are promoting an evidence-based practice that allows people to actually have a greater sense of control and a greater sense of happiness. So give some thought and put in the chat what it is that you think it means that when neurons fire together, they wire together. Because we all know from our experiences that the vast proportion of our thoughts are old thoughts. I think the evidence is about 90% of our thoughts are old. And of those thoughts, most of those are negative. And I'm sure by experience, you all will all agree that our minds are given to a pattern of thinking, especially for those of us who hold positions of responsibility and positions of caretaking. Generally speaking, we're always thinking we never do enough. We never give enough. We never are enough. Or maybe we could do better or could do more. And so gratitude is a way to overcome those feelings that creep in of envy or hostility or just basic worry or irritation. So what we're renegotiating in our neural pathways is a sense of savoring and not taking things for granted. So it's a present-oriented way of thinking, way of knowing, way of being. If you think back in the last few minutes, most of the time I always intend, so I can't say all of the time, but I try to create a space whenever I lead a class or a presentation or any time of gathering with people for us to be quiet for a few minutes and to purposefully and intentionally come to where we are. And you'll remember that I said come together now at this present time with these people. And so you're acknowledging a sense of togetherness, a sense of connection, a sense of purpose for that moment. It's a present-oriented way of thinking, way of intentional being. So the more you purposefully and intentionally create thoughts that are positive or that express gratitude, it actually makes it easier to focus on both the thoughts and the feelings of gratitude. And we can actually measure that. There's evidence on scans that we can measure areas of the brain that light up when you're happy, that when you're content, because we're wanting the area that is so emotionally arousable, our limbic system, our amygdala, to kind of quiet down. And there's evidence that when you focus intentionally on gratitude, that the areas calm down. So all of us know about dopamine and serotonin, and we all want more of that. We actually have medications that boost some of the levels that we're looking for. And so we are actually wanting to experience more of the reward system, the pleasure system. We are wanting all of us to have more memory. We are wanting our executive function and our cognition to be enhanced. And there's evidence that the simple practice of gratitude will enhance your dopamine and serotonin levels. So when you're thinking about how you think and you are focused on your higher reasoning, What you're trying to develop is empathy, some insight. You're wanting to be able to regulate your emotions, to have some response and reflexibility. You want to be flexible in your responses. There's a language built around reaction or response. And it's a language that you can message that you are wanting to be able to quietly and selectively choose the way you're going to respond to a situation rather than be driven by your increased pulse, your increased heart rate, your fight or flight response. You're wanting to have more emotional regulation. So one of the things that I would like for you all to do, I asked you all to bring a piece of paper or a gratitude journal. And I would like for you to take between 3 and 5 minutes to write down 3 things that you are grateful for. And I want you, in addition to writing down what 3 things you are thankful for or grateful for, I would like for you to write why, because that's the reflective piece of a gratitude journal or a gratitude practice. I've been having students keep gratitude logs for about maybe 10 years, and I have always focused on naming 3 things because the evidence has been that if you name 3 things that you're grateful for, then that will rewire your brain. More recent evidence is that the reflective piece of, so why are you grateful? And, the top 3 in many gratitude practices are you're grateful for your family, or you're grateful for your pets, you're grateful for your health. And what I would like for you to do is drill down into why you're thankful for that. So specifically, what about your family, or what about your pet, or what about your health makes you thankful for that? So I would like for you to take a few minutes to do that. And I will set a timer for about 3 minutes. And again, I would encourage you, or I would invite you to reflect on the why, because that's the important part of the rewiring of your brain. got 1 more minute. And then I would like for you each to put in the chat one thing that you found that you were thankful for and why. So we have, I'm thankful for my dogs because they give me unconditional love. I love that one. My health because it allows me to be present and active with my kids. My health, as without it, I could not pursue the passions in my life. Faith helps me through difficult situations. I love this one. I am grateful for my education and experiences in my nursing career, as today I knew what to do with my 98-year-old's mother's new UTI this morning. Only nurses. Only nurses. I love it. Oh, this is an important one. A good friend that listens without judgment. I'm thankful for my ability to work, as I believe I'm contributing to the next generation of nurses. Resurrection because it's Christ's victory and eternal life with God. God and being able to go to church because God is good, and seeking Him makes me feel peaceful and full of hope, love, and faith that I will live with Him in paradise for eternity. I am grateful for being here over the winter because I am out of the winter weather and am more active outside and see my grandkids' activities on a regular basis. I hope that you all can appreciate the importance of being grateful for all of the things that you have, that you all have communicated. What I always talk to my nurses about and my nursing students is the next thing that I want you to think about, which none of us do, and it's probably my greatest passion for teaching nurses, is what are you grateful about inside yourself? Because we are always grateful for things external to ourselves. We have so much passion and so much energy for other people. We do a heck of a job taking care of everybody else. Kudos to us. Congratulations to us. We've got that under control. But the whole message that I'm leading up to today is, what are you grateful about to yourself? I want you to turn this to yourself. So Bern, what can you say thank you to yourself for? So I asked myself, so Leanne, what can I get up in the morning or go to bed at night and say, Leanne, thank you for? That's a harder one. That's a much harder one, to actually be thankful to ourselves for what we do for ourselves, or what we do to take care of ourselves. So if we're trying to rewire our thoughts, I don't think there's a single nurse I know out there that needs any help in taking care of other people. I think we have that one down perfectly. I don't ever think I need to give talks or encouragement or affirmations for how are you going to take care of somebody else. What I want you to write in the chat room now, and you'll find this much harder. So if you were having a gratitude journal to yourself, think about what you're grateful for to yourself. And then type that one in the chat. That one's a little harder. Just by very nature of this exercise, the typing's slower, and you'll notice it's not as easy. Strength to keep going through chronic pain. I'm grateful. Oh, I love this one. I'm grateful that I put my best effort into everything I do. Thank you for sharing that. That's a special one, that you appreciate the effort you put into things. I'm grateful that I can react to anger with kindness. I'm grateful for the ability to forgive myself and move forward. Loving myself despite occasional mistakes. Ability to pivot. Being truthful and honest. Motivation to make myself better. And I love this one because I think this is a good segue to me preparing to close. I'm grateful that I learned meditation and prayer early in my life and to practice it nearly every day. It brings me great peace and calm and joy in my life. So I love it when my participants give me my closing. And so, Bern, that would be my closing. If you are at your location asking people to give themselves a dose of G on a daily basis, and I started with neurons that fire together, wire together, your practice has to be regular. Just like we ask you to sleep regularly, have regular activity, social activities regularly, social connections regularly, hydrate yourself, eat a good diet. We don't ask you to do that occasionally. We ask you to do that as a practice, a healthy practice for your mental health, your physical health, and your well-being. In order to change the way that your brain is wired, you have to practice. So I would encourage you, as Bern recommended, a daily dose of G. So carve out some time, however small that is, to express in whatever way fits your lifestyle. The recommendation is 3 things you're grateful for and why. And my personal recommendation is that at least one of those 3 is thanking yourself as a nurse and as a nurse leader, as someone who is involved in the nursing world, to thank yourself and to be kind to yourself, to give yourself some credit, give yourself a hug. So thank you, Bern. It's been delightful.
Lee, thank you. I'm going to give you a big dose of vitamin G for this fabulous presentation today. Thank you so much. And everybody, please join us next Wednesday at 12:30 for our next webinar. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your grateful week.
Thank you so much, Bern.